Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and Tacray has been making some really unique knives, and I've really grown to appreciate them. Both the kind of aggressive blade shapes that they work with, a lot of titanium, kind of exotic designs. This is a great alternative to the Benchmade Narrows, and this is the Tacray Taran. I did a video on this, and there's actually a new version of this one out. It includes a glass breaker and some updates. The same great laminate blade there of a ZTP 189 steel titanium, but they have a new knife out, and it reminded me a little bit of this Tacray in some ways. And again, this one has a great blade shape, very thick, just an aggressive blade. But if we look at this thing, again, it's a similar shaped blade. They're calling this a sheep's toe. I wonder if that's a translation thing. It's actually, maybe a modified sheep foot or something, but check this out. Do you notice anything unusual there? This isn't just the standard like 3 laminate layer, and I do love laminates. This is my Falcon even here. This is actually representing 3 things here in the moment. One is the laminate steel, which is actually, you can see the line right there. It's a way of sandwiching different steels together, usually real durable external walls of steel and then the good blade steel in the middle. In this case, it's laminated cobalt steel. That's the second thing. And the third has to do with the this convex bevel, which I really like. And with Bark River's demise, people have been arguing about that. Honestly, it's great. But back to this guy. So what do you see in there? That's copper. This is a 5 laminate layered knife. It's got copper laminated against the central steel. The central steel in this case is 10 CR15 MOV. Whoops, no it's not. It's 10 CR15 CO MOV. Did you catch that CO? Have you seen the CO somewhere else, like right there? That's a cobalt steel. So there's actually a little bit of cobalt here. So we've got a laminate steel, we've got a cobalt steel, and we've also got this copper inlay. Now that's not super rare. It's unusual, and I love the look of it. Is it strong? Well, laminates are very strong, but copper is actually a pretty soft metal. Now let's jump into history here. There was the Stone Age like forever ago, and that made way kind of to the Bronze Age. And the Bronze Age, well, this might be an example of a Bronze Age implement. This is like an axe head. I picked this up in Nepal when I was there. It's been on the video, or been in videos before. Got it from a collector in Kathmandu. Just an excellent expression of either a hand tool or a leverage tool from quite a while ago. Bronze is basically mostly copper with about 12.5% tin. Now copper can be found just like this. This is native copper. And so people found this stuff and then pounded it, heated it, pounded it into different shapes. It was used for all kinds of tools, knives, etc. But then when you could alloy it with tin, you got a much stronger material. The Bronze Age was displaced by the Iron Age, and the Iron Age actually has its start well before probably even the Stone Age. This is a meteorite, an iron meteorite, and early iron was extracted from meteorites. They'd find the iron, they'd heat it up or pound it or something. So there are very, very old implements that are made of iron, but they are actually from meteorite iron. There's even a knife in King Tut's tomb. I mean, it's not that unusual, believe it or not. Harpoons from some of the native cultures way up north were using iron from iron meteorites. But anyway, then people went to copper, and then they went to iron. And we know a lot about iron. Some would say that we're actually in the stainless steel age. So I find it interesting when I hear about bombing somebody or we lose power and go back to the Stone Age. We can't go back to the Stone Age because we know too much about metal. And we can't probably go back to the Bronze Age doesn't sound very good in the apocalyptic literature. The Iron Age, where's the fun in that? But anyway, back to this knife. That is copper laid in there, and that was actually done a long time ago when, you know, in Damascus folding, sometimes they'd use things like that. But also some Japanese steels have been perfecting this, which is probably where this steel came from. Is it as durable as just straight steel? Well, I don't know. But I do know that I'm going to certainly enjoy this for many years of use. And in fact, I started thinking about that many times we've kind of got these ideas that we want this super aggressive, heirloom quality blade for daily driving. And that we may not enjoy it near as much as other things. But that's just the start of the unusualness of this knife. So as you see here, basically there's a wall steel, and then there's copper, and then there's the the 10 CR15 CO MOV steel, which is honestly equivalent. It's a Chinese steel, but it's equivalent to VG10. That's generally agreed as a direct comparison. And if you get into the percentages of the alloys, it's very close, and then the performance across sharpness and edge retention and corrosion resistance and strength. It's just right there next to it. But this is beautiful. I mean, it's really, you have to see this almost in person, but let's keep going because there's more. When I closed this, first of all, hurry up and get this out of the way, I noticed that notch, and I was thinking, is that common? I don't know, I just hadn't paid that much attention to it. So I picked up a couple of knives, and I'm going to do some Spydercos here. Just simply because people always say, where are the Spydercos? Well, they're right here. So I did notice there's a notch there. There's a notch on my little Benchmade bug out there. And of course, on the striker, there's a notch. Just something I wondered about. Not one here. Guess it's all in the design. How about this for you Spyderco fans? You recognize this guy? The Wolf Spider. Ray Mears. This hasn't appeared on my channel in many years. USA, I love that. Happy Earth Day there. USA Earth. Where was it made? It's a really unusual knife. It's got like a lock on the back. A back liner lock. Really unusual handle. Does not carry all that well, but when you're actually using it, it's supposed to be a bushcraft blade in a folder, which is kind of a contradiction. But I'm digressing here. So let's get back to this. So what else? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just jump into the handle. The handle is a monoblock. So what Tacray has done is they've taken, in this case, a green micarta. It also comes in a black G10. And they milled the entire knife handle out of a single block. There are no liners in here except a little bit right up front that's holding in the pivot. But they also have these reinforcement plates of titanium on both sides. You can see that with that axis lock and a nice good blade stop on the top to catch that and lock it in with force against that sliding pin right there. So they ground this out, so no screws. Well, except for the pocket clip. Now there's even innovation here. It's a very nice pocket clip, and this, even though it's a touch wider, but then again I might be used to carrying some really thin Tacray knives, compared it to this one, which I do enjoy carrying. And this one is actually a little thicker, barely. But here's something other knife makers could think about. What about making the perfect pocket clip? But then, if you want to make it reversible, well, what's happened is it's caused you not to make it as symmetrical as it could be. So what they've done is have included two pocket clips, a right-hand carry and a left-hand carry. Or I guess both if you've got indecision issues, but I don't know if it came with extra screws. Anyway, this is actually a great way to create the perfect pocket clip regardless of the design of the knife. So you're not stuck trying, like in Benchmade's case, you know, if you wanted to flip this, they've got a symmetrical pocket clip, and that prevents from some additional innovation. Anyway, so what else do we have? Well, we've got that nice axis lock. Does flick out quite well right there. Big old lanyard loop right there, drilled right through it. Again, you don't have to worry about standouts or screws or back spacers or anything like that. And I hope they make this design in a few others, and I could see them milling out a little bit in the back. I think they'll get that. They'll get there. Beautiful hardware. Razor sharp. The overall length on this thing is about 7 inches. And again, they're calling it a sheep toe, kind of a sheep foot blade. Found that sort of interesting. And that monoblock, which just that CNC milling out of one piece. That's really cool. I mean, it feels a little bit different just because it's a solid design, and they mention that. And it's almost hard to understand, versus something which has edges and screw heads and just things that break up some of the kind of the flavor of it. This is 2.7 ounces. The G10 one is about 2.9 ounces. So just a touch heavier, but I wanted the Micarta one because, again, it's kind of that old school and new school. I mean, damask or layered blades, laminate blades, are very old as well, but they've found ways to make them. Some people call it brazing, but I think it's a lot more complex than that, to be able to get that copper in there. And in fact, if you didn't know about this, you're going to start seeing these because they are around. When I started doing searches, oh yeah, I just hadn't paid as close of attention to it. But just an absolute gorgeous expression of engineering and old world craftsmanship and a modern aggressive blade. Look at how that hourglass is in right through the top. There's no jimping on it. I'm a big fan of jimping, but they decided to smooth it out. Really obvious layering there in that steel. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's going to last a lifetime or not, and I'm not too worried about it because it's just so much fun. And then you feel that. That is definitely something, that little wave or saw blades that you can feel, because it is kind of like geology. It's a different material, so it's going to change differently than the blade. And in fact, that's one of the things is over time, because it's copper, it will change in its patina, and it changes on its own based on the carry and the environment and cleaning and how use and everything else. So technically, no two of these will ever look the same, but I don't know if I'll run into anybody with one. That'd be cool if I did, then we could talk about it. But overall, really a neat design. So there we go, all the way from meteorites from 4.5 billion years ago through copper, through bronze, through iron, through stainless steel, through laminates. Just a cool chunk of human history in one single little knife, all the way up through the modern design and CNC machining. I don't know. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. If you're interested in this, I'll put a link below. I think they only have the Micarta left at this time. It's about 119 bucks, so it's actually very affordable. With that, Doc out.